Hello and welcome to Nonprofit Live TV. I'm Larry Brill and we're coming to you from the Convio 2009 Summit. Chance for nonprofit organizations to get together and learn about good ways to do their job a little bit better. And joining me right now is Keith Heller from Heller Consulting, and we have Tompkins Span, who is from Convio. And one of the things that we want to talk about today is this whole idea of the Convio Common Ground and how it's changing the way we're being able to keep track of our donor database. Maybe Keith, we could start with you and just give us an idea of what it is and how this works for a nonprofit.
Well, thanks, Larry. Well, Common Ground is a donor management system, fundraising system, that is built in the cloud. It's available via the web. So traditional donor databases, you have to install it at your nonprofit to get the benefit out of it. That's always been a real burden on a lot of nonprofits because they have a lot of business practices they want to carry out, but they don't have a lot of resources. So Common Ground is making that a lot easier to manage, a lot easier to host for them. It's also a system that is simply simpler to use and meets the needs of the nonprofits more directly.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, because for nonprofits who rely on volunteer help and staff members who are not really up to speed in this thing, it takes a lot of training for a lot of these softwares, but if it's simple, they're more likely to adopt it.
That's exactly right. It can be simpler if it needs to be. It can be sophisticated if it needs to be. But when it gets more sophisticated, the way the Common Ground is built, it doesn't have to get complicated at the same time.
And Tompkins, is this a way of just changing the dynamics of what nonprofits can do with their database now?
Well, it is. It's not only about how do we structure the interface for the staff so that it meets their needs. And I don't mean that nonprofit needs. I mean, it meets the needs of the major gift officer. It meets the needs of the executive director. It meets the needs of the volunteer coordinator. There's the flexibility to truly make it fit each and every individual within the organization. But I think it's also really significant. Keith and I get pretty excited about this, so excuse us, we're animated, but we really start to think about how can this be applied beyond donor management, right? It's not just about managing the donations, that are coming in. It's about managing all of the interactions. It's about managing all the relationships that these nonprofits have. So it's a truly different type of database solution for nonprofits.
And when you take this idea to the nonprofits, what's their reaction, their initial reaction?
Well, interestingly, often we have to first just say, it's a donor database, it's a donor database. It's going to meet those needs, right? Yes, you will be able to manage your annual fund, your major gifts and so forth. And as soon as they get that and they're kind of bought into how this is a different type of donor database, then we say, now we're going to blow your mind. Let's talk about your mission. Let's talk about your ability to track, whatever programs you're running within the same database and how you can apply that to better perform with your fundraising.
Yeah, absolutely. Folks out there today, they want to be seen as a whole person. They don't want to just be treated as, you're a donor, you gave a gift, thanks for that. They might be a volunteer, they might attend events, they might take advocacy actions on your behalf, they might adopt an animal through your organization.
Yeah.
When they get on the phone with you, they love to hear from the nonprofit, oh, we understand your full relationship with our organization, and that's what Common Ground lets a nonprofit do.
How do you convince the nonprofit that what they've been doing in the past, it just isn't good enough anymore?
Well, they know they know the struggle that they've experienced. What we find we have to help them over the hurdle is, no, it really will do that. And what's interesting for us as a services organization is, it's all well and good for a software company to say, the software is going to do this.
Yeah.
But our organization is there at the end of the day when it's up and running or not. And we're thrilled to be able to say, yeah, actually, this is going to work for you.
Yeah.
And Tompkins, when you look at Common Ground, what's the next step? Where do we go from here?
Well, fortunately we chose a partner to really, hitch our wagon to with Salesforce.com. And the Salesforce platform, which they call Force.com, just provides such incredible flexibility. Just a few moments ago in a different session, we were demonstrating the ability to capture tweets from Twitter and associate those with contacts. So for your truly loyal advocates or your truly loyal donors that are, promoting your organization on your behalf, you can associate that just like you would associate the fact that we sent them a direct mail piece or an email. And honestly, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. But what we have, chosen to do is utilize a platform that provides that flexibility, so that we don't have to necessarily predict. And the innovation is going to come from Convio, but it's also going to come from Heller. It's going to come from other individuals and other software vendors that are providing value on this open platform.
And obviously in some tough economic times right now. Is it more important than ever to adopt this kind of technology and these kinds of platforms to use?
Well, organizations they're having to do more with less. They're having to look at their staffing structure. They're having to look at their technology. They need a solution that's going to do more for them without taking more from them. And Common Ground, because of the way it's built in the cloud, it takes even less resources, and as to Tommy's point, you can configure it in ways that help you work smarter.
Right, and you may still have great IT staff, and they're going to be able to do stuff on Common Ground that they could never do with the Razor's Edge or some of these other legacy platforms. So you're not losing those IT resources, you're repurposing them for much more innovative
They're not under the desk trying to hook up another computer to get the old software running.
Right.
They're like, oh, click, there it is, it's running, let us build you something that
Or they're going to a team meeting and the team saying, hey, we really need an application that can capture this type of data and do this sort of manipulative thing and integrate with Facebook. And that IT guy in the corner is going, ding, 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 I know how to do that.
That's right.
And I can do it in the next week.
Yeah.
How hard is it to convince them, though, that if you build it, they will come?
Well, the nonprofits are waiting for something that's going to help them manage their mission better. They're tired of using Access, using FileMaker, making the stuff up on their own, and they know once they have that built, all those same people are in this other database over there. What are you going to do with that?
Yeah.
It's not.
Keith, Tommy, thank you very much for being with us.
Thanks, Larry.
And once again, if you'd like more information about the workshop, the conference going on here in Austin, you can find it at nonprofitlive.tv. I'm Larry Brill.